Morning Poem by Mary Oliver. Every morning the world is created. Under the orange sticks of the sun, the heaped ashes of the night turn into leaves again and fasten themselves to the high branches, and the ponds appear like black cloth, on which are painted islands of summer lilies. If it is your nature to be happy, you will swim away along the soft trails for hours, your imagination alighting everywhere. Thank you, Mary Oliver, for that beautiful excerpt of your morning poem. Later on in the video, I will read another excerpt, and for now, just settle in, let's relax. Part of the video will be in my back garden, and the other will be at my tarot table, where we will answer some of your questions and continue this little longer video where we really bring ourselves into the spring. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe grab a few art supplies if you feel moved to do that. We'll be doing a little pen and ink drawing together. This is something that is really special to me because in my witchcraft club, I'm sending out little mini original drawings and paintings this month. I've done it one other time before. I can't tell you I'll ever do it again because it is kind of a lot of work, but it's so important to where I'm at right now in my process. Just really stretching out, bringing my body back to life, utilizing seeds that have been on my altar all winter, and planting sunflower, marigold, calendula, oh my goodness, and we'll watch them throughout the season bloom together. So I hope that you are well. I hope that winter treated you nice. It was a tough one for me and my family, and so I am bearing witness to the change in me from that tough winter. I'm bearing witness to the change in my magic, in my art, and holding space for the changes you're going through too. So I'll come in and out a little bit with some voiceovers, but I just ask you to just make your body comfortable. Grab something delicious to drink. We're going to be uncovering a really cool crystal ally, a special candle, a beautiful magic witch's brew potion, which I am so excited about, and dig into some tarot as well, utilizing the Tarot of Leonora Carrington and my precious little weirdo Moon Baby Magic Tarot. All the magic here came from my favorite little stationery store called Maido, inside of a really fabulous Japanese marketplace here in Orange County, California. And I'm just using some of my favorite supplies to just relax and do some outdoor art, which is saving my booty right now. Hope you're well. Come on inside and let's relax at my springtime tarot table with my rebloomed orchid called Miss Thing and this gorgeous cymbidium orchid that was a gift from a friend. I light this candle from this wooden match to alert our spirit guides that we're here, we're open, we're listening, and we're ready to receive the messages that are meant for us. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have something lovely to drink. We've got an awesome session today that's all about finding comfort and finding answers. I had a sticker up on my Instagram stories and was flooded with questions. I'm going to get to some of them today, and I did a live stream for the new moon just a little while ago, and so you can pop back and see some more of the answers to the questions over there. I have a gorgeous ginger beer. I'm so refreshed by it right now. I need so much ginger right now. Ginger is so beautiful for settling butterflies in our tummy, and I've got lots right now. I feel like I have just burst out of winter and into my springtime form. All I want to do is be outside and just do everything. And I find that I have butterflies in my tummy because there's so much I want to do. Can you relate to that? So the ginger beer is super helping. When I say beer, it's not alcohol. I'm just letting you know. So let's have a few sips of our yummy drink together. I always drink in threes. The first sip is for the world. The second sip, I'll tell you in a second. The second sip I drink for my spell, and I urge you to do the same. And the third sip is for anyone that's locked away from their magic, especially folks that are incarcerated. So, I'm happy to have you. I want you to know this is a sacred session. So I will be dosing myself with a beautiful brand new potion. I received this as a gift from my friend Karina Rosella. This is magical on multi levels because it's called the Lover's Potion. And I dose myself internally. You can do whatever you want with it. A lot of folks do like floor washes with potions, and they create a way of cleansing their altar. My body is an altar, so I'm going to dose myself now. The Lover's Potion is so special. The label's created by the amazing artist Marissa de la Pena, and it's got a couple froggies on it. This next month in April 2022, my theme is metamorphosis, and I'm obsessed with monarch butterflies and all my neighborhood frogs. So stick around to the end of the video and you are going to hear some amazing frog chorale, frog symphony from my night walks, and it's pretty special. We always know that spring is rushing in when the frogs in the neighborhood start popping off again. They're amazing. So the Lover's Potion is lemongrass, lavender, thyme, skullcap, one of my favorites, orange-infused brandy, honey with essence of poppy, daffodil, sweet pea, and pink geranium. Oh my goodness. So this, unlike the ginger beer, does have like a foundation, a seat of brandy. So it is spirits, it's alcohol. Not enough to feel it. The rest of the essences, the plant essences, I feel. And I feel supported by the plants. I feel supported by the flowers. And I don't feel the spirits in it. And I'll show you now. Beautiful golden nectar. Under the tongue. Immediately, I can taste that pink geranium. And the skull cap is just so supportive. What an amazing, beautiful brew. Karina wonderfully says that the Lovers is a potion for connection and deepening understanding. How wonderful. It looks like a couple of froggies on a cake. I know the artist, Marissa de la Pena. I consider Karina and Marissa friends. Marissa de la Pena's artwork is amazing. They create cakes that are magic, and they are working through this amazing relationship to colonization and so many other things passed down from their abuela, who also spun sugar, was a cake maker and a baker, and just an all-around influence in their artwork. And so I love seeing these rainbow froggies on a cake. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Karina. This is amazing. I have lit my gorgeous final candle from Luna Nate, who I consider to be also a supportive teacher, just like Karina. You can find Karina at Rise Up Good Witch, by the way. Luna Nate has a YouTube channel that's so plentiful and amazing, and I'm part of their Patreon, and there was an entire candle experience that just ended, and we've moved on. So I wanted to show you the final candle, which is absolutely exquisite. It was created for Pisces season, and we just received it, which is so great. It's like we track things kind of at the tail end of the season. And now we've shifted into the crystal project, the crystal experience. And so my candle showed up in this amazing package, and the crystal showed up in an equally awesome silver package. And it is a gorgeous Faden crystal. It is just so dimensional. Faden crystals are really special stones. And I think this is the answer to a lot of the questions that I received on my sticker, because Faden stones are created in between other crystals. It is in the quartz family, but it fills in these empty spaces, these cracks, this damage. And so Faden is a real healing stone. It has these sort of plates and planes on it and topography. One thing that my Faden crystal is giving me is this mirror reflection, which I don't know if the light will catch that, but it's absolutely beautiful. So I treasure this Faden crystal. I don't have any other Fadens that I know of, and now I am part of a group of folks. I think there's 70 of us, 71 of us, including Jillian, that are part of the crystal crew. This is a treasure, and Jillian also threw in an incense rope that's scented and a cute little candle that's also scented. It's gorgeous. It has a really rich aroma. And I'm just so happy to have this support as we go through and answer some of your questions. I also wanted to show you my new journal. I have gone through in 2022 3 journals already. I'm not kidding you. 3 journals. And part of that is because I have in my Patreon, called my Witchcraft Club, been Bewitching the Artist's Way, which is a 12-week creativity sort of discovery and recovery kind of program. And I personally needed to deprogram some of the things in that book. So in my Patreon, there's 2 different tiers that have been Bewitching the Artist's Way. And if you follow me over on Twitter, you've seen that I have been creating Bewitched morning pages prompts. One of the seats, the core of the Artist's Way program is morning pages. I absolutely love writing, and I love reflecting, especially when I wake up. I really love to wake up before my family. I live with my partner, who is my 2 teenagers' other parent. So we have a really busy household, and it's always worked for me to get up before my kids. So that might answer some of your questions too that came through. We're also finishing up Bewitching the Artist's Way in the first week of April, which is really special. And I have all these beautiful writings and all this musing. I mean, the the tweets that I created with the Bewitched morning pages prompts are public and they're open to anybody. That is a ton of free content. So if you feel moved to support my work or deeper connect with your magic or mine, feel free to join me in my witchcraft club, or you could subscribe to my channel here and tap that bell for notifications. Things are shifting for me over here. I enjoy my calm relaxation videos the most of all the videos that I create, and that's the direction that I'm moving into my channel, just taking up a lot more space, showing you the beauty of the spaces that I occupy here in California, and pulling tarot for you, and just living my life as an artist and a creative person, a mystic, a witch, right out loud, a parent, someone that cooks all the time. These are the things that I love to create in my videos. So let's get into it. April is so magical for me. And if you're consuming this at a different time and it's not April, don't worry about it. You don't have to bounce out, because April is when the amazing artist Leonora Carrington was born. And so today we will be using some of Leonora Carrington's gorgeous tarot cards that came out in 2020 and 2021. This is the Major Arcana, the Tarot of Leonora Carrington. I have a really special edition that I splurged on, which is the Scent edition. I think it's called the Star Edition, and it comes in this beautiful linen box, which is just so gorgeous. And I know you're going to find support from Leo's amazing art. I know I do all the time. So I'm dedicating this video to you, Leo. Happy birthday. I'm so excited to answer your questions. This is a really unique way that I've organized answering your questions. I'm really looking forward to digging in. And let me just make sure that I don't light my hair on fire and make myself safe and protected. So I'm going to put my Luminate candle inside my hurricane lantern. Hang on. There we go. The way that I've organized creating our session today is so it can be like as personal to you as possible. The way that I've organized our session today will make it really easy for you to take from this what works for you, what resonates, and leave the rest. And you'll be able to take this to your book of shadows or journal, and you'll be able to really personalize it, bring it through the whole season. I have paired it with my deck, Moon Baby Magic Tarot, and then the Tarot of Leonora Carrington, which is an absolutely exquisite deck. This is the Star Edition. It's the Scent Edition. Oh my goodness, it smells so amazing. And so I have paired some cards so you can go ahead and create a really cool ritual for yourself afterwards. And let me give myself just a little bit more space here. So the first question is really great. I kind of dug right in. There were some pretty deep end questions and then some really funny, cute ones too. So let's dig in. The first question says, struggling with going deeper in my practice, feeling disconnected. And then they did the cute like colon with a little smirk face, like wah wah. And oh my goodness, after all these years of practicing our glorious craft, I can so relate to this. So I listened on a deeper level, and I thought about the theme of metamorphosis that I'm working with right now, and I asked myself that question again. Struggling with going deeper in my practice, feeling disconnected. And I pulled a card for you. This is the Page of Caves with the key word fruition. Don't we always want to have that bearing fruit? Don't we always dream of the trees bearing fruit and the shrubs bearing fruit and all the plants just constantly giving? I mean, it sounds beautiful, especially right now, because how could you not be struggling? How could you not? I mean, there's so much going on in the world right now. So I took the liberty to pull this card reversed. Now, in Moon Baby Magic Tarot, when we pull a card and we reverse it, the moon phase reverses too. Well, how do you reverse a full moon? The full moon reminds us to celebrate our life exactly as it is, pleasure and pain as equal teachers. And in Moon Baby Magic Tarot, these reversals can sometimes flip the moon phase, but not the full moon. I want to share with you a really special song that goes with the Page of Caves when it's reversed. The key word on the Page of Caves when it's upright is fruition, and when it's reversed, the word becomes stall. And there's a really gorgeous song by an artist named Faye Webster called Better Distractions, which I think if you just sit and relax and listen to some music, you can really identify how you feel. You talked about how you were feeling disconnected. Well, feelings aren't facts. And let's move towards the feelings and let's just be with it. First of all, celebrate that you're having these feelings because they're telling you that something is ready to shift. Something needs to move. And right now, honestly, this world with so many challenges all around us, you literally cannot go through your day without encountering intensity in media all around you, etc. So sit and listen to that Faye Webster song, Better Distractions, and then just stoke those emotions that live inside of you and ask yourself how you would advise yourself in this time of feeling disconnected. What can you do to reconnect? So therein lies the challenge of how to bear fruit in this time of incredible metamorphosis. This stalling, the keyword stall, is showing you rest, is showing you that rejuvenation and being still and identifying your feelings will give you a deeper pool to draw from, and you will know after you have some time to rest and recuperate and move with your feelings, even if some of those feelings are pain, towards what gives you pleasure. But if you're feeling disconnection, fragmented, or stalled out, go with it, go towards it, and really fill your cup with what you need after you rest. I really hope that works. Yeah, music is a huge go-to for me. This is a pretty hard-hitting question and an equal answer, okay? So this is to do with some intensity that came towards me from another practitioner of magic. The question is, can you share an experience about one of your biggest obstacles and how magic helped you overcome it? Well, let me tell you, as a much, much younger witch, I'm 56 now, and as a much younger witch before I became a parent, I was studying with a witch who was a very intense person, very magnetic, kind of an exciting personality type. They were also a trained actor, and so that added a lot of flair to the study environment that we were in. And I heard from somebody that they had put a hex on me, and I had never experienced that before. I have spent a lot of time in my life dismantling this idea of it being necessary to be liked in order to enjoy my life. And I think way back then, that was, 30 years ago now, I was a little bit more concerned about being liked. So for me, hearing that somebody put a hex on me gave me a lot of feelings of feeling like I failed. And in doing that, to be honest with you, what I learned was that I was participating in whatever it was that they did. I wasn't even in a situation where I felt like calling them and saying, yo, I heard you put a hex on me. That is not the case. And I have developed a lot of ideas about hexes since then. I believe it takes two to participate in a hex in order to make it so, right? And I've said this in my public platform for many, many years. I believe that I learned then to work in the in-between spaces, just like this little Phaedon crystal, Phaedon quartz can do. Work in between modalities and kind of cushion and create space between two ideas. I realized if in fact that person had hexed me, I could not agree with it. I could literally move away from it. I could move with pleasure towards things that I loved and enjoyed and not have anything to do with it. And I developed the ability to now detach from ideas, and that invited me into this idea of detaching from needing to be liked, to be validated. And it was ultimately a really positive thing, this supposed hex that this person put on me. And the ability to listen was the modality that helped me. I first listened to the gossip that someone hexed me, and I considered that source. And yes, this was a person that gossiped a lot. So then I thought to myself, let's listen further. And let's really hear, what does it mean if I'm hexed? Does that make it a fact? What does it mean if I am in a situation where someone's saying, dance with this notion, I'm hexing you? And I realized that I could just create physical space. And I actually had a really big change in the folks that I was hanging out with and doing magic from that, because literally every single person in this group knew that this teacher was the type of person that would hex a student arbitrarily if they didn't like or appreciate or support something that they were exploring. And in my case, it was motherhood. I was considering becoming a mother. And I think that that was just something like really intensely objectionable in this group of folks, where just about everybody was not a parent. And so because I learned now to listen really deeply, I could hear myself, and I could hear this siren song within me that motherhood was calling me, that I wanted to become a parent. And you know, so it was step by step. And so I hope my wild little hex story works for you. If anybody ever thinks that they can hex you, they really can't without your participation. And that's my lived experience that taught me so. Thanks for that awesome question. So I pulled two cards to illuminate that answer about my story and how to overcome something with magic. And I pulled Moonbaby Magic Tarot card, the World, and I also pulled the exquisite Leonora Carrington's World card. They're really different cards, but they show that encasing, that wreath, that circle that comes across like such a beautiful sort of femme shape. I love Leonora Carrington's World. And honestly, I'm keeping it on my altar right now because I'm just so in love with the color story. I'm in love with how colorful it is. And it's such a gorgeous, sensual shape that reminds me of like the femme anatomy. And I'm remembering that I'm creating the world that I believe is possible with everything that I'm doing. One of the things that I say often is that I live to share the beauty and power of magic. That is the truth. And I'm also weaving with you a world where everyone is fed, sheltered, and has agency within their experience. So my world card shows my kitten Juniper in a wreath of butterflies and moths, and the key word is interdependence. We live in a world where I learn from you and you learn from me, and I'm reminded of that with my story about hexing. You know, ultimately, I became very grateful that I heard from a gossip that I was hexed, because then I could sort of examine my relationship with this person that was triangulating and gossiping, and also that group of folks that I was in where there was a leader that really created a lot of drama, and know that I needed to create the world that I really dreamed of, not change the world that I was hanging out in at that moment, but head on out and make that family that I dreamed of. The next question is best tip for instilling confidence in a child. And then this person is so cute. I love them so much. They said, okay, and myself. So you get 2 cards. The 2 cards that I pulled are the Moonbaby-Magic Tarot Fool card and the Tarot of Leonora Carrington Fool card. The Fool card in Moonbaby-Magic Tarot has the keyword wild. All right, so put a pin in that. And then I also pulled the very next card in Moonbaby-Magic Tarot, which is the Magician, with the keyword conjure. And the Tarot of Leonora Carrington, Magician too. How beautiful. I'd like to put them together. And I'd like to believe I'm not destroying the audio. Here we go. There we go. So, step 1 leads to step 2 when instilling confidence in a child. These are my beliefs. This is from my lived experience. First of all, allow yourself to be a wild animal and believe and see the sameness with your child. You need to have a lot of fun with your kid and go wild with your kid literally every single day. Remember, your job is to play. You learn so much from playing with your child. They learn from you and you learn from them. And then step 2, splurge on some tools. Splurging on tools can be as simple as taking that empty oatmeal box and turning it into a little drum kit with some, wooden spoons, and just decorate that drum kit, like rock it out, bring it someplace that echoes so your kid can hear their echo, and ask them questions, what's their favorite song, and explore percussion, explore different kinds of, drumming stories, history of drumming. I mean, it's fascinating what you can get into, but really let them teach you. I really, really love the idea of you splurging now and then on some new books, and just turn books into the thing that is the cornerstone of what you're working with. I think they're the greatest tools in the world, and it just opens up every part of your imagination to learn to read and just to have books and start to see yourself as a person with preferences. I think it can give a kid a lot of confidence, and really, honestly, play, go wild, ask questions, let them choose the way things are going to be in your family too. Take good care. Love the next question, because it's one of those things, as a reader, as a working class witch, folks hire me and there's some themes that come through. Love and money are really common things that get spoken of, and there's unique language that develops that comes in and out of trend. This question reminds me of that. It says, how do you invite abundance in with ease and flow? So I want to share something that has multimodalities to it. This is the Moon Baby Magic Tarot 9 of Caves, aka 9 of Pentacles. And the key word is prosperity. This card is so important and fully changed my life. I've got a story for you. My friend Amanda has an amazing podcast called Between the Worlds, and their audio engineer is a total amazing artist with sound. I just literally want them to have a workshop all about sound, and I want to just go to it. But that's Carolyn. And so Amanda and Carolyn invited me on to speak about the 9 of Pentacles, aka the 9 of Caves. The 9 of Caves is powerful and is beckoning you to see the things that you've gone through that have been challenging as gifts, and that they are tools that you can learn from. Your pleasure and your pain are equal teachers. And with the 9 of Caves, the 9s are powerful throughout tarot because it's you as an individual, fully and completely seasoned and experienced right before you move into the group setting, right? You're experienced. You might even be scarred. You definitely know what your preferences are. The 9 of Caves, I had to collage with multiple ingredients because for me, when I need to create ease and flow, it really starts with how I love myself, how I care for my body. And so I'm a real big advocate of having a kitchen altar, little tiny candle, a lovely little crystal, and some way that you're connecting with your ancestors is a really essential part of your kitchen witchin'. And feed yourself. You know, ask these plants and these pollinators sort of what area of the body that they are administering to as you feed yourself. Have the way that you feed yourself be very intentional. Now, this card is like multiple modalities of opportunities to educate you, teach you, care for you, give you my advice. Because when I went on the Between the Worlds podcast, and I think it's episode 54, and it's in my link tree on Instagram, and I'll link it in the description of the video today, I had prepared 9 different tarot journal Book of Shadows prompts for our episode. I really wanted folks to feel that I was giving them a lot because I was so honored to be, that's the biggest podcast I've ever been on. So I wanted to bring it. I was just doing that thing like a Gen X does where it's just like jump in the pit. Do you know what I mean? And Amanda had an awesome idea that when folks subscribe to my newsletter Love Notes, that they would receive a confirmation with these 9 prompts that I prepared for my episode of Between the World podcast, 9 of Caves, aka 9 of Pentacles. So when you sign up for my newsletter, Love Notes, you will receive 9 prompts on this episode of Between the Worlds. And Amanda and Carolyn, I love you so much. Thank you so much for changing my life. Well, this is interesting. What started out as wanting to pull a card of the day ended up being an entire spread and completely made up of jumpers. So taking the cues, loving it. The significator card has today's moon phase on it, so I'm feeling this very, very deeply. And now it's time to do my morning pages on what I'm seeing here. morning poem continues. Each pond with its blazing lilies is a prayer heard and answered lavishly every morning. Whether or not you have ever dared to be happy, whether or not you have ever dared to pray. Thank you so much, Mary Oliver, and thank you everyone for your presence. I'm wishing you so much awakening to your magic now. I'll see you on the next one, where we will be deep diving into all of the magic of Leonora Carrington and spring. Please remember that magic is your birthright and everything's a spell. This is my spell to begin again.